Good evening, everyone. This is Brady joining you from Inner Strength Check, home of all things hobbies, arts, music, and mental health, with the mighty Tasmanian devil, Jason Peppiat of Psycroptic. Jason, how are you, mate?
Really good, man. Really good.
That's good. Fantastic. You guys got a lot of things coming up. You got the new album coming out in a few days, which, by the way, I literally had to pause it just before I hit this interview because I've been giving it a lot of spins. It's good stuff, man.
Oh man, it's good to hear.
Yeah. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, really good, really good. It's kind of that it's that weird thing where it's, couple of days out from release and we're kind of, you kind of well, I do anyway. I start to sort of feel a bit nervous and you think,
Yeah.
oh shit, how's this gonna go down? You've worked so hard on it for such a long time and it's like unleashing your babies onto the world, So
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah, yeah. We should
it's
be.
it's a weird one for me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I'm excited.
Mm, mm. So you should be. I really like. I mean, I've got a million things. I could fill a whole podcast interview plus just with my thoughts on the album. But just, I think my overall takes, just from my notes here, I'm feeling like this is sort of for me. This album kind of feels like a bit of a graft of like inherited repression era psychroptic, borrowing a little bit from even from the observant era, but then you've injected
Yeah.
quite a lot of sort of there's some nice little classic metal doomy touches and a lot of orchestral stuff, but not like Lorna Shore level symphonic or anything like that. So
No, no,
really
not
dynamic
dim report
album.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, it's been really fun to work on. I mean, it's
Mm,
as usual, it wasn't really planned on how it was going to sound. It was just,
mm.
Joe took the reins as he does and gets going, and then it just, you kind of don't know how, like from those first demos that Joe sends, that's just guitar and a programmed drum track. You kind of get the feel for what a song or what songs are going to turn out like, but you never really know what's in Joe's head with it. Some
Yeah.
bits where it'll be just like a basic chord progression or something, and you'll be thinking, "Fuck, he's going to take this to some crazy level," and that's why it's so bone basic on the guitar. But and then there'll be all sorts of levels of insanity on like synth and orchestral stuff, and
Mm.
you know, his wife singing and all
Yeah.
sorts of cool shit happening. So it's always a blast, it's just from start to finish, seeing the songs take shape and all the rest. So yeah, it's really cool.
And I feel like also on top of that too, for you as a vocalist, like you've got the addition of the mighty Jason Keyser from Origin, who basically
Mm,
blew my head into 100 million pieces at Frankston not too long ago. You
yeah,
got him back for this one, and even with your own kind of, I've noticed there's like a lot more sort of even variation with your kind of vocals on this one too. Like
mm,
it feels a little bit more experimental from your end as well.
yeah. I don't know. I've always, I mean, if you listen to me album to album, I kind of tend to sound a bit different, but
Mm.
I don't know. I guess it's just where I'm at the time, and it's
Yeah.
everything's just so natural with us, I mean, when we go into the studio and when we're writing, it's just what comes out's what comes out. It's not sort of a conscious effort to, I'm going to experiment more. I'm going to do this. Well, I mean, it was, I suppose, when we did the self-titled album, that was very
Mm.
experimental on all fronts. But apart from that, it's very just it's organic the way it sort of turns out.
Mm. And in terms of your process, mate, do you kind of come in with like ideas just about like themes and concepts and see what happens with the music, or do you kind of just come in with the lyrics already? What's your sort of like process there with the album?
It's usually, I mean, majority of the songs, it's trying to, waiting till, I've got fairly fully formed songs and sort of try to catch a vibe and try to, I suppose, just listen to it over and over and over and over until, I'm just ideas are starting to form and, lyrical concepts sort of start to build on their own and like that. But there was a few songs on this album where I actually wrote lyrics before I even heard any music for songs, and we sort of
Yeah.
did all the phrasing and put things together in the studio, which was a fun way of doing it. And I mean, there was parts of this album which, I actually found quite hard compared to normal, just because I think just the way that I've said this in a few interviews. I think from how I heard the songs originally, from what Joe sent to us, I think Dave, our drummer, kind of heard grooves and things are slightly different to me. So he kind of drummed it with a bit of a different groove and a bit of a different
Yeah.
flavor to sort of how I sort of envisioned it. And when I came to doing some of the vocal parts, I was stumped with some shit. I'm like, fuck, I can't get my head around how I sing to this. And so there'd
And
be
start
sections
scatting.
in there. Yeah. And
Throw in a bit of
and so
jazz
there
scat,
was,
bit of jazz fusion.
yeah. But there was bits, yeah, quite a few bits where I just like, I had, lyrics written for sections, and, big portions of songs, but I had to sort of go into the studio with Joe and say, I don't really quite understand how I should sing this, which
Yeah.
which is a new thing, because I've never really sort of been stumped on how to
Mm,
approach an album with
mm,
Psychroptic. But this one, there was just a few bits, and which is cool, because it did, it gave a bit of a different flavor, I think, to
mm,
what I'd normally do, because I did have to think outside the square, and, be out. I was forced outside my comfort zone a little bit by Dave, I think, which
mm,
was cool.
mm. It must feel good too, like this far in the game, because I mean, people still think of the Chalky versus Jason era of Psychroptic, but
Uh,
you've been in the band for yeah, I know you're probably over that,
22,
aren't
22
you?
years. Yeah, man.
22 freaking years, and it's good. That's
Yeah.
that's a long time, and you do need to kind of, after that amount of time, you got to keep it fresh for yourself too, right?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's it's always fun, working with Joe and what he does. It is always fun, and it's always exciting, because we don't really limit ourselves. It's like,
Yeah.
Joe sends the basis of a song out to everybody, and then, you know, everybody builds their own parts to it, and everyone's got the freedom to fuck around and do
Mm,
what they want with it. And it always does yield great results, as far as I'm concerned anyway. So it does. I think that there's just the way we approach it does keep it fresh and creative for all of us.
definitely, definitely. And speaking of my comment of jazz fusion before, nothing could be more relevant than the fact you guys are touring with the very smooth and jazzy death metal-y Rivers of Nile. That's a big tour
Yeah.
coming up. And
Yeah,
I
man.
just realized something too, Jason. I was talking to a mate earlier yesterday, and I was like, I think these guys might actually be my most seen band. So I actually went through and tried to find, because I bought tickets to Psychroptic at the doors, da 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 da.
Mm.
I think I've nearly seen you. It would be approaching nearly 20 times, nearly. And
Oh, shit.
I think that's testament, number one, to how addicted I am to death metal, but two, more importantly, just you guys have a touring ethos that I think a lot of death metal bands like could live up to. It's very punk rock. You guys are constantly
Mm.
out there gigging. What kind of keeps you guys sort of like inspired to keep cracking on? I mean, you've played many venues over many years. Like what?
Oh, yeah. I mean, for us, I think it's just love of the game, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all still passionate about. We love the genre. We love playing live. We love hanging out together. The four of us in the band, or five of us now, but we're all good mates, and
Hmm.
always have been. We get along great. We enjoy hanging out. I think the fact that the only time we actually get to hang out these days now is when we are on tour, because everybody lives sort of so far away. Me
Yeah.
and Joe are in Tasmania, so we hang out a bit. But then you got Dave's in Melbourne, and then Todd's in New Jersey, Jace Kaiser's in New York. So it's kind of like, I suppose it's that camaraderie, and more than anything, we just love playing live.
Hmm.
I don't think I don't, well, not for me anyway. I don't think I'll ever really lose the passion for that.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And speaking about like the passion for it, what are your thoughts about the upcoming tour? Like, it's an interesting bill. It's a good one. Like, it's a
Mm,
quite a varied bill. Like, obviously, it's extreme, but I mean, the difference
mm.
between yourselves, Rivers of Nihil, Growth, and Slaughter Cult, there's a lot of similarities, but a lot of difference too. So it's a pretty dynamic
Yeah,
lineup.
yeah, and I think it's going to work really well. I mean, we always try to put together these sort of lineups. You know, when we're doing album launch tours, you know, we went out, say for our self-titled, for example, we had Goat Whore out with us, and then we had
Mm,
Whore and we had there was a lot of whores there,
yeah,
and
it was a good. That was a good one. That one. Yeah.
Disentomb, I think it was as well. So like we had us who were that sort of tech death thrash sort of thing. You had, you know, Goat Whore doing their sort of black and roll thing, Disentomb, Autopsy doing the ultra brutal shit. And it just works
Mm,
when you find those right lineups where you do have a varied you know, a varied group of bands. It's just it's a fun night for the punters as well, you know, like
yeah.
it's not like you're just going and watching four bands that all, you know, sound the same, but
Mm,
you're watching four bands that are vastly different, but for some reason, you know, you're sort of playing to the same, you know, fan base anyway. So it just works.
mm,
And I
mm.
mean, we toured last year in North America with Rivers of Nile, and I mean it went really well. I mean, and that was a really varied bill. That was us, Rivers of Nile, and actually Nab Liviscaris on that one.
Yeah.
And because that was a bill at first when Tim from Neo actually, you know, hit us up to see if we were interested in doing it. We were kind of like, oh, fuck, this is an odd bill for us. You know, it's you know, it's got a lot of potential to tank for us,
Yeah.
really. You know, because we were very much the oddball band on it, and we
Mm,
were like, you know what, we're not going to know if we don't take a punt, and it could end up being that we're playing a rooms full of people that never heard of us,
mm.
and they enjoy it, which is exactly how it went down. I mean, yeah, we were opening on that tour, and you know, at the merch desk, I had hundreds of kids coming up to me every night. Fuck, never heard of you guys. I'm new
Oh,
fan,
awesome.
buying merch and stuff, and it just yeah, it goes to show that, you know, those sort of mixed bills do work. I mean, yeah, Rivers of Nile, they were fucking phenomenal live band,
Oh
great
yeah, they're
dudes.
next level,
So
aren't they? Just
yeah,
something
so we're
else.
yeah, and so we're really looking forward to having them out here, you know, doing the co-headlining thing with us as well. So that's going to be a great time.
Hell yeah. I've actually got a punter facing funny story from my first experience with Rivers, but I want to hear, have you got any interesting or like funny stories from the road for being with Rivers on tour? Like anything interesting that pops out that happened while you're over there?
Not really, just non-stop fucking jokes and laughs, but
Awesome.
nothing that jumps straight straight into mind. Andy Thomas is fucking hilarious though. He is so sick to hang out with. Well, all those guys are. They're an absolute laugh.
And that's another thing that I think people kind of don't realize. They think extreme metal that you've got to, you got to put on your corpse paint, you got to pout, and you got to walk around so serious and misanthropic. But it's like, yeah, we're singing about death and all this dark stuff. But yeah, you got to have sense of humor is going to be what helps, tie the room together, kind of thing.
Oh fuck yeah! And I mean, whenever we're on tour, it's just non-stop laughs, you know. And it doesn't matter who you're out with, or maybe we've just been lucky that we've always, you know, we've always been out with, you know, sick dudes, really. But man, we're always having a blast on the road.
Hell yeah. And before that, you doing a small run of dates in Tassie. And
Yep.
how's the energy with the Tassie shows? Are they still just as hectic as they've ever been, or
Yeah, man. Like Tassie shows are always great. We did a little run of shows out here with King Parrot. What
mm,
was that June? I think it was June last year.
mm,
And man, it was awesome. Like Hobart was, I think that was basically sold out. Like I don't know, 300 people or something like that. Then we played Launceston, which is up north. Fuck, that would have been probably 130 people in a tiny little room, and it
wow.
was just gnarly. And then we went all the way up to Devonport, like right up at, where the ferry is over to Victoria. That's only a tiny little town, and we were there on a Sunday night. We're like, fuck, this is going to go either way. It's either going to be 10
Yeah.
people there and it'll tank, or there'll be 100 people there because they don't get that many shows, and it'll be fucking wild. And yeah, I think it was like 180 people there in the end on a Sunday night, and there was literally people swinging off the ceiling. So it was fucking wild.
That's
So yeah,
regional gigs for you, man. That's regional gigs
yeah,
for
I
you.
know.
I remember the bloody like I'm pretty sure it was the kitchen staff were all hanging literally off of Torquay Hotel for Pennywise, and that was just a washing machine pit. I think city folks, being from the regional area myself, they misunderestimate a regional show, but man,
Mm.
some of the hardest shows you go to or pits that you see are folks out in the country because I think they're just they've thirsted for it and they're like, I can't believe it. They're here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, fuck, we've done some wild ones over the years, like regional stuff. Like,
Mm.
we played. I think it was at like a footy club room at fucking Mount Gambier, like back in 2009, and
Sick.
no stage and shit like that. We've played
Yeah.
like RSLs where they just clear the Keno machine, the pokey machines
Wow.
out, and they just put it, just little floor shows, and like places out in the middle of fucking nowhere in Canada where there's barely a PA, and it's the sound guys just balancing the volume of the amps and shit like that. And like those shows are always just fucking off the hook, And a lot of the time there mightn't even be that many people there. Like you're probably there on a Tuesday night usually, and there'll be fucking 40, 50 people there, and they'll get absolutely maggoted, and they will have the best time.
Yeah, hell yeah. And variety's the spice of life too, right? Like,
Mm,
it must feel even like a just trip, like just a bit of a head trip sometimes standing on stage and going like, having played those venues and
mm.
now to some of the stacked shows that you guys are putting on in festivals and stuff. Do you ever just get that moment of just like looking out at the audience and going, oh Jesus, like,
Yeah, and it does happen. I mean, with me, I don't. It doesn't really bother me. Like with, we can play a small venue
mm,
to 50 people, and they're enthusiastic, or you can play to a festival crowd of 10,000. They've both got their merits, and they're both cool in their own way, and
yeah,
we still love, from tiny to ginormous and everything in between. But you still do. I mean, I remember we were playing at Brutal Assault last year, like in Czech Republic,
yeah,
and
huge, yeah,
I mean that was fucking massive. And we're on stage, we're playing, and I look to the side of us, and there's like the Tardy brothers from Obituary, who, I mean, they're good friends of ours, and they're just there having their morning coffee, just bopping their heads, just having a great time. And like looking out into, a sea of probably 7, 8, 9,000 people, and you're just like, how the fuck did my life end up
yeah.
like this? How the fuck did this happen? I mean, I know how it happened, but it's still, yeah, there is still that. You do still have you sort of pinch yourself moments, like, fuck, this is pretty wild. This is pretty sick.
Yeah, awesome. And with the upcoming tour, what are you most looking forward to from us and the crowd? Anything in particular you want us to be doing? I mean, it's self-evident we're going to be moshing like bloody rabbits like we
I
always
hope
do.
so. I hope so. Yeah, I mean, I just even a lot of the time now. I mean, a lot of our audience is aging with us, and you do get a lot of shows where the crowds aren't that wild, but everybody's really enjoying themselves, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like, and sometimes you can get off stage, and you can have that moment of like, fuck, that was a bit lame. They weren't into it, and then you think, no, they were into it. They're just the same age as us, and they're not all going to head bang and stuff. They're an aging crowd. You can't always be in fucking circle pits and shit when you're in your 40s.
You
And
can try,
and
but the recovery is a little
yeah,
bit different. Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
especially if you're ripping 10 beers, and you got to go to work the next day and stuff. It's it's it's
Oh,
not like, it's not like when you're in your fucking early 20s where you can drink 15 cans, and be stage diving all night and then still get up for work the next day and, you know, shake it off by smoko.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's it. That's it. Well, I hope you guys I think you guys are going to get a wide spread of ages for this one too, because I think a lot of the like kind of younger blood will be coming in to check out Rivers, and now they're going to get
mm,
their heads blasted sideways before they get a bit of nice sultry sax. So I'm looking
yeah,
forward to
let's hope
watching
so.
prog metal kids get thrown around, and me being one of them. Very much looking forward to your tour. And yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for your time. And
No
yeah, really
worries.
looking forward to catching you guys in Melbourne when you guys are down here.
Awesome, man. All right, cheers, buddy. Thanks for your time.
No worries. You have a good evening, dude. See ya.
You too, man. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Send for help. 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 Send for help.